Hey there creators, Niamh here, and today I'm going to be doing some machine embroidery. I have 4 shirts here, and these are for my middle daughter, Rainbow, and she and I picked out 4 designs. One for each of these, and actually some of these are actually going to have multiple designs, but one main design we picked out, and I'll put in a cut to some of the things we picked out from a website called Urban Threads, and it is a site for machine embroidery designs, and they have a wide range of really awesome designs. It's kind of a not your mother's or not your grandmother's machine embroidery designs. I'm not at all sponsored by them, but funny enough, the owner of Urban Threads has the same name as me, Niamh, which is quite a coincidence since it's not a very common name here in the US. So anyway, I'll put that in right now. Alright, hey everyone, so I am on Urban Threads, and it is a website for machine embroidery, and they have a lot of really awesome cool designs that are kind of outside what you would normally see on embroideries, because a lot of times it's very grandma-y, you know, and this is kind of a not your grandmother's machine embroidery website. And so I have like a huge collection of their stuff, and yeah, I use them for most of my embroideries. So my daughter picked out 4 designs for her t-shirts, and 3 of them I already own. I already own Wicked Cute, so I will look that up. The Wicked Cute, there we go. So this one, she picked out this one. So it's kind of a skeleton unicorn that says I'm pretty magical, and of course we can change the colors, which we will. And then she also picked out, let's see, she picked out something from the Girl Power pack. Girl Power, this one. And this one, Run the World. So she picked out this one, and I do already own this one too, so don't have to get that. And she, the pizza one, that's right. This one, she also likes this one. This is the one that's going on the yellow t-shirt. Now the one that she picked out that I don't have yet is the I Read Past My Bedtime design. This one. So last year for her back to school shirts, we used this one. I like big books and I cannot lie. And she gets tons of compliments on that shirt. The teachers at her school really love it. So the I Read Past My Bedtime is what we're doing this year. And I'm also going to use some other designs that I already have as further decoration. But I don't actually own this design. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this design. I'm trying to decide if I want to do that size or this size. I might go with this one, just because it's a little bit cheaper, and it's kind of the I tend to try to pick, you know, because unless it's a free design or I'm getting the other sizes for free, I don't really want to spend all the money on every single size, especially when you can resize. Now when you resize in a program like Embroidery, which I will detail later, it does somewhat mess up the design. It depends. You can go really big. You can change some designs and not have much distortion or issue, but sometimes if you change things a bit too much, you can have too much distortion. So when I'm picking designs to buy and I don't and I can't get all the sizes, I tend to prefer to go with the middle size. That way I can size up a little bit and it's probably no big deal, and I can size down a little bit and it's probably no big deal. So I like to go with the middle design, and my preferred format is Hus, because the machine that I use is a Husqvarna Viking. So there we go. Alright, so now I've bought the design. I'm going to download it. Download. There we go. Now it downloaded. Alright, and I'm also going to move this over to my other designs. Cut. So I'm in my embroidery folder here, and let's see. What category would I put this under? I think I'm just going to put it straight under urban threads. Yes. Paste. Alright, so there it is. Now I'm going to go into Embroidery. So this is a program called Embroidery, and it's a separate embroidery program. And basically it's a embroidery file viewer as well as an editor. So when I go into Embroidery, I have my embroideries organized in a certain way. Not all of them are organized. I need to better go through this, and so basically I go into my pictures, my sewing and crafts, embroidery, and then I have different categories. My urban threads category is just designs that don't quite fit into the other categories that are from urban threads. So I go in there, and to view these items, I click right panel, select all files, and then view, and I like to view them dense instead of bigger, so that I can have more on a page. So none of the designs here are any of the ones I'm using. Oh, here's the I read past my bedtime. Sure, we can edit this one first. Edit. So the hoop size that I am using . So the first thing I need to do is hoop up some of these designs, and I'm going to use, I don't know if I'm going to use this hoop or maybe this hoop. Depends on what size I make the things. I think I'm probably going to go ahead and use the big hoop, just to give myself some options. Alright, so what I have to do is I have to seam rip each side so that I have a loose flap. That way I can more easily put this over the hoop, and then after the design is completely done, I'll sew the back on. Alright, so to seam rip, all you have to do is you put the end of the seam ripper, the sharp part, through some, I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up, but I just slide it through some of that and just rip, and you do a few of those like that, and pull them apart a bit. Oh, I didn't quite get as much over here. There you go. And now it'll start pulling apart. Alright, so I've done the yellow one here. I basically do the same thing for the other ones, so no point in filming that. So there's going to be a lot of this excess string around. I try to get as much as I can off, but you know, they'll be straying here or there. That's okay. Now the next thing to do is to make sure it's ironed, and this is it's a little bit wrinkly, so I guess I will iron it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center of the shirt, and I'm going to use a fabric pen. This is like an invisible ink sort of pen that will wash away or eventually fade away. And it's used to mark fabric that you're going to sew, and it's meant to wash away and go away. So I want to know the middle of it and about where to start. Alright, so this shirt is ready to be hooped. Now, so how you do this, each hoop has a size. This is 360 by 200, and I believe those are millimeters. So this is the bottom hoop, and it goes underneath. I am skipping a step. Of course I am. So what you have to do before you can put the shirt on here is you have to use a stabilizer. Now this is a there's different types of stabilizer depending on the fabric you're using. Since we're doing t-shirts, it is a knit fabric, so you need a stabilizer for knit materials, and that is what this is. If it was a stiffer fabric, then I would use tearaway stiff stabilizer. And I reuse this as much as I can. I can't reuse the part where the design will go, but you know, there's going to be lots left over, and I'll rearrange them on another one of these. So you want to put 2 or 3 layers. I'm doing 2 layers, and then there is going to be an overlap in the middle, so there's going to be 3 layers there. This just keeps it so that the material will not shift around under the machine, and it has something to grasp onto to keep the fabric still, because it won't stay still completely even inside the hoop. Now, normally what I do is I float the fabric. I just hoop the stabilizer, and then I use a spray adhesive for the fabric, and I lay it on top, and then I do the fix embroidery, which just sews a really loose square around the design. But it is better to hoop the fabric onto the thing itself. That's the safer option, but I usually do not do that. I usually just hoop the stabilizer like this, and then use a spray adhesive and stick the fabric on that way and do it that way. There we go. So everything's pinned back, and the design will go about this much right here. And this is actually not the end. I do put a top layer of stabilizer on the top, and this is a water-soluble material, and this is just helpful. It keeps a flat surface on the top, and it will wash away. So I put this on top of all of my embroideries, though some people will only use this for like really fluffy type material, really fluffy fabric. but I put it on top of everything because it just keeps everything flat. So like in case there's any irregularities in the fabric, it's not going to catch the needle or anything like that. It's going to stay flat on top. And I do pin it on both sides, top and bottom. Now what is nice about the silky stabilizer is that it doesn't matter if it's all wrinkly. It could be like super wrinkly. It doesn't matter. It does the same purpose. It keeps all the stitches nice and flat. Yeah, so, and it will all wash away. So yeah, so this is a great thing to use, an extra precaution that I like to do on top of my work. Now, the next part is putting it into the machine and getting it started.
Rainbow.
Hi.
What do you think of your new shirt?
Great. I love it.
I love you.
I love you.
Bye.